everyone. Welcome to Lives Worth Telling. I'm your host, Jodes, and my podcast is about digging deep into people's stories and providing them with a platform to share their life and their experiences with my listeners. One of the key reasons in creating this podcast is so their families and friends can have a record of their life, their stories, and their voice forever. One of my favourite things is hearing about people's stories, their triumphs, their hardships, but most of all, I love hearing about their resilience. I really hope you enjoy listening to my guests share their lives with you. I want you to have a few laughs and allow yourself to be immersed in their stories. Well, welcome to episode 4 of season 2 of Lives Worth Telling. Welcome to our new listeners we have picked up across the world. We have listeners in 20 countries and 79 cities. I have some news for you. I have had people ask me, when is my story going to be told? Well, my cousin Tim is going to interview me and I'll be sharing my life stories with you. I must say it will be weird being on the guest side of the desk. In today's episode, we were on location again, but this time in Cape Woolamai in Phillip Island. We meet Chris, who has been a tower of strength for many people throughout her nursing career. Chris is such an amazing person who is not only a great friend, but her ability to show kindness to everyone she meets. She talks with us about her compassion fatigue she has experienced in her various roles in her nursing career. Chris also has the ability to make anyone laugh with her quick wit and delivery, no pun intended. So sit back and hear the compassion this wonderful human has for her life and the people in it. Enjoy. Okay, this person, friend of the show, Flick. I know this person through Flick, and I probably 2 years, I don't know, when did we first meet? Oh, a little while ago.
The first weekend away to Rosebud.
Oh, yes.
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 Bridgerton binge weekend.
Oh, yes. Well, I introduce you to Chris. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me.
My gosh. Well, twisting the arm on this one, maybe peer group pressure because there's 2, 3 that are going. Yes. Anyway, so we're going to start off with background and childhood, and I'm speaking to you while you do something you love so much, a la scrapbooking. And on location today as well. This is a second on location in Phillip Island in Cape Woolamai. So here for the weekend, why not? Whip out the microphone and the computer. So Chris, tell me about your family, your parents, your siblings, where you grew up.
So I am the oldest of 4 children.
Okay, 3 siblings.
Yeah. We had a pretty average upbringing. We moved from Basin North when I was 5.
Okay.
So just finished prep.
Okay.
Mum attributes the move to my constant ear infections from the noise of the traffic because we were quite near a major road.
Okay. So you're from Basin North? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I went to Basin North Primary before it was knocked down.
Okay.
And made into shops. And so we moved to the Basin. And being 5 and incredibly naive, I actually thought for a minute we were going to live in the sink. And
there was a bus called
was quite
the Basin. I thought you should think the same thing.
Yeah, was quite concerned, but no, we weren't going to live in the sink,
like
so it was fun. Yeah.
So that's how you know Kate.
That's how I know Kate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, Kate and I have been neighbours and besties since we were 5 and 6, respectively.
Wow. Yes.
And yeah, so and then I went to the Basin Primary School for the rest of my childhood.
That's why you have connections with Basin families.
Correct.
Pick that up.
My younger siblings went to the Basin Kinder.
Okay.
And my parents still live in the Basin.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, such a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
So there's 4 of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who are your siblings then?
So my youngest sibling next to me is my sister Carolyn.
Okay.
She's 2.5 years younger than me. And she's a occupational therapist.
Okay.
Then there's my brother. He's 18 months younger than my sister Carolyn.
Yes.
And he's a social worker.
Oh, my gosh.
And then...
What a crew you have there. Heavens.
And then there's my youngest sister, and there's 4 years difference between my brother and my youngest sister.
Okay.
She was a little bit of a surprise package.
Okay.
And she's a teacher.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's quite a... Well, they're all degrees there. Yeah, there's educated people there.
Our family history is made up of nurses and teachers.
Yeah.
There's not much else.
Yeah, tradition.
Yeah.
That's really good. That is so good.
Yeah.
So you were born in Melbourne?
I was born in Box Hill Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
The old yes.
Box Hill Hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
And describe what school was like for you. And did you like school?
No.
Didn't you think
no.
about the answer there?
No.
Straight up, no.
No, I wasn't.
Primary, secondary?
I think I enjoyed primary school a little bit more.
Yeah.
I was never an honours student. I was just average. I was just Joe average.
Yeah. Yeah. So you went to the Basin Primary in your primary, and then you moved on to high school?
Yep, we went to Bayswater Secondary College.
Okay.
Yeah, or Basie High.
Yes.
As it was more formally known.
That's the Aussie way, shortening everything.
Yeah,
yes. And was high school okay or?
Yeah, high school was it was fine. It was just, it was just, I just went and just, I didn't aspire to be a great scholar or anything like that. I just bummed along.
You got through it.
Yeah.
You got through it. And what are some memorable trips or outings that you had as a kid?
So one of the great adventures we had, my sister and I were very privileged in high school to go to the Northern Territory.
Oh, yes.
For 10 days by bus. We drove all the way up to Darwin and back.
Oh, my gosh.
It was mega.
These days they fly.
Yeah.
On a bus. That's hard yards.
It's hard yards.
Way.
It's a long way. And
so when you were that was in year...
That was, must have been about 14.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, my sister must have been about 12. Well, we were both in high school, so yeah. Maybe she was in year 7 and I was in year 9.
Sweet.
Or something like that.
So you went as a family?
No, with school. Yeah, with the school. It was kind of like we had this youth group sort of arrangement in association with the school called HYP.
Okay.
So we went as part of the HYP
cool. That's good.
program. Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah.
Awesome opportunity.
Yeah. Family trip, memorable family trip was us cramming all in the Ford station wagon.
I was going to say, so 4 kids.
Yeah.
What sort of car are they?
So we had a Ford station wagon that was that kind of tanny brown colour. Oh, yeah. Gold, maybe goldy brown with the leather interior. Yes. Man. Well, it's probably vinyl. It probably wasn't leather.
So 3 across the back.
3 across the back, 3 across the front. Yeah, my little sister Allie in the middle.
Okay, so bench seat in the front.
Bench seat in the front.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And gear stick on the steering wheel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to think of the terminology for that.
Yeah, so we towed the caravan up to Queensland, and that was was memorable.
Where did you stay up there?
I don't know. I remember staying somewhere near, it must have been one of the theme parks, Oxenford, the one in Oxenford.
Oh, yeah,
Dreamworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
So nice up there.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Was it a one-off trip or you went?
No, it was a one-off. It was a one-off. Good on Dad. He did all the driving, so he towed the blooming caravan all that way and all the way back. And I distinctly remember my sister and I sharing a Walkman in the back seat.
One each?
One each. And we listened to ABBA.
Perfect.
And Queen.
Oh, good. Oh, so good.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a really fun holiday.
That was good. I mean, what did your folks do for jobs back then? Like, did they both work?
No. So Dad owned his own business for a time. He was in the repairing wheels game, but he also had a job in. Oh, he did several things. He worked at Kenworth. He worked at a sheet metal place, and then in later years sort of did more his own business of wheel repairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mum didn't work.
Yeah.
Gosh,
with 4 kids.
So that must have been hard.
Good job.
Don't know.
You're from back and forth.
Yeah.
How did you celebrate Christmas? So it sounds like a big family.
Yeah. So every year we made the trek up to my maternal grandparents' house in a small town in central Victoria called Muckleford, which is between Castlemaine and Malden.
Okay.
And we spent our Christmases there. And our cousins, so Mum's sister, they would have Christmas with their other grandparents in Essendon, and then they would make the trip up on Boxing Day. So we'd always have Boxing Day with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was always a big celebration. We always were quite annoyed that we had to go to church and we were only allowed to open one present before we went to church.
Oh. Was that on the night?
It was a
Christmas
killer.
Eve night?
No, this is Christmas Day.
Oh.
Christmas Day, yeah.
Oh.
So Grandma would have the roast on and, we were allowed to open one present or look in our Santa sack. And then we had to go to church and, oh, my goodness, on reflection, I loved going to church with Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah. It was an old Methodist church. And, it's just got great memories. But being a kid, all you want to do is, dig into your presents. You don't want to be going to church.
Back and then open presents,
Yeah. Oh, but after lunch. Yeah. So
you could eat first.
Oh, my goodness. It was a drawn-out affair. But, good times. Good times.
That's a tough gig. And who were your most significant influences in your childhood?
Oh,
were you close? Sounds like you're close to your grandparents.
I was very close to my grandmother. I
nice.
adored my grandmother and my grandfather. Yeah, we just
that's
had
on your mum's side.
Yeah. So we were very close. And Carolyn and Mum used to put us on the train at Spencer Street. And we'd both go as unaccompanied minors.
Oh, how cool.
And Grandma and Grandpa would come and collect us from the station. And
so that maybe on school holidays or something like
school
that?
Holidays, yeah. It was really, really nice. And we'd go into Castlemaine and do the weekly shopping and Grandpa would always go up to the bakery and he'd get us a pie each and a Boston bun. And we sat in the park in Castlemaine with our pies and our Boston bun.
So good.
On Fridays when we did the grocery shopping.
How often did you do that for quite some time?
Yeah, years. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are they still
it was
around?
great. No. We lost my grandmother the year that I got married, so 2000.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so nice, though. You still think of them like it's yesterday, really.
Yeah.
So nice.
She was an older, they were older parents because they wanted to wait until after the war to get married.
Okay.
So she was in her 40s when she had my mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. And family life as an adult, or now, when I say I always know the answer to this question, but are you or have you ever been married, Chris?
Yes, happily married.
Husband number
1.
Kind of unique.
Yeah.
It could be number 4 for all I know.
No. Pretty boring.
Do you have children?
I have 2 children. Yes. My oldest child is 22. My youngest child is 14.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know there was did I pick up there was a bigger gap?
Massive age gap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what traditions have you established in your family as an adult for your clan?
Traditions.
Anything you do for specific things around birthdays or things that you like to do as a family all together?
No, not really. I don't know. We exist.
Yeah.
As my youngest would say.
We exist. That's all good.
Yeah.
That's all good. And talking about trips or outings when you were younger, what trips or outings have you done with you guys as a family?
Oh, well.
Wow. Get out the list.
Our most recent trip was to America.
Yes.
For my oldest child's 21st.
Yeah.
We were supposed to go for his 18th, but that got cancelled with COVID. So we said,
one bites the dust.
never mind. We'll save up some more money and we'll do some more planning and we'll plan the trip for when you turn 21. So we went.
Awesome.
And we had an amazing time in America. We were there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And had the first 10 days in and around Los Angeles.
Okay.
And then we drove our Ram.
Oh, wow.
I was very excited. I had to have an American truck.
They're enormous.
Yeah.
Very big.
And we drove up to see the national parks in Yosemite and drove across to the Grand Canyon and Las Vegas.
Oh, so good.
And then back. We did a lot of Route 66. My oldest child is a mechanic and cars mad.
In the element then.
We had to do we had to do Route 66 in some capacity.
For sure.
Yeah.
So did you stay in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think of Vegas?
Mental.
I love it. I loved Vegas. I didn't know. I've heard great things, but it was crazy. But I really liked it. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you get used to the smell of weed. Yes. And it's almost thrust upon you, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And and such a group of weird and wonderful characters.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I really liked it. I wasn't sure what I'd think about it. I agree with you. I really, I don't know, it was just what an amazing space in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
And shows, just go to shows all the time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. We saw the Blue Man Group.
Yes.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's awesome. So you were there for 3 weeks. Any plans to go on any other trips? Hard to get the plan all together in the one space.
Oh man, I'm if I'm not on holiday, I'm planning the next holiday. I have an Instagram.
Sounds like a very good
little folders, and I save things, and I've got a TripAdvisor. I name dropping here of every app, but anyway, I like to. I see things and I think, that has to go on the next trip. So the next big trip we're actively planning, or I'm actively planning, is my youngest child's 21st, which is still 7 years away.
Hey, you have to have plans.
We have to have a
So
plan.
you are your own travel agent.
Absolutely.
It's Chris's travel agency that she's running.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
good. So do you just lay it on everyone and say, so guess where we're going in
This is what we're doing.
2030?
Well, it was actually my youngest child's, because they get to choose where they want to go for their 21st. So I guess if that's a tradition, that's a tradition, whatever.
Have you had anyone knock on your door and say, can you adopt me?
No.
Because I think this is a good plan.
No, I'd say no. So
That is awesome. I love that.
So we're going to go to Japan, and it'll be the middle of winter, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few people that have. Japan is a little bit of a place at the moment.
I think it's a bit trendy or something.
It's gaining popularity.
Yeah.
Where do you live now?
So we live in sunny Berwick.
Yes.
In outer Melbourne.
Now, for some reason, I thought you were in Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Why did I think that? Because someone else was. Why did I think so? Did you want to stay in the Basin, like that area?
Yeah, no. I remember having a conversation with my dad, and we were driving somewhere, and I said, "Oh, what's over in that direction?" And he said, "Oh, Berwick's over there." And for some reason, Berwick stuck in my head. And when we were first married, we were living in my husband's flat in St Kilda.
Okay.
And we're going to set up house. We can't live in St Kilda forever. I mean, it's nice and all that, but it's not very family friendly. And we couldn't afford anything massive in that side of town.
Yeah.
So there was land for sale in Berwick, and we bought a block and we built our house.
Perfect.
And we're still in our house today.
Perfect. So what year was that? Did you buy a block then?
So we got married in 2000, and I think they were pouring the slab on our honeymoon. Yeah.
That's it. I love that. That's awesome. That is so good. So we're going to move on to relationship questions now. So your lovely partner, how did you meet? God, I love these stories.
We met at a nightclub in St Kilda that's no longer there.
Oh.
Do you remember Twister?
Yes.
Yeah, so and it was New Year's Eve of 1998 going into 1999.
Okay.
So, of course, that song was playing.
Yes.
It's going to party like it's 1999,
Yes.
Prince.
Oh, my goodness.
And, so we met there New Year's Eve, and I saw this young buck, and
were you on the podium?
No, but I was intoxicated. And he was kind of there, and I said, "Oh, come over and dance." And that was that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nightclub.
Yeah.
It's so old school now. It would be a line or something.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I don't think I could do
So
that.
funny.
Yeah.
So funny. And never look back.
No.
Never look back.
So 24 years this year.
Yeah. And Twister.
Twister, now it's gone.
Is there anything in its place?
A car park.
Rename. Oh, gone.
Yeah,
like not renamed.
Yeah.
So it seems
maybe, I don't know.
Chases are still there, and there's some other clubs that haven't moved, but
I don't know, but
the Metro's gone.
so disappointing.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Did you have a moment outside getting knocked down?
No.
Car park.
No. Yeah, last time I was there was a car park, and I thought,
Jeez.
Oh, this is where memories were made, and
This was where it was.
this is what our memories were equated to.
Just disappeared.
Yeah.
And I guess, what are some of your best fun memories together in the early days? A little while ago, in the turn of the century.
Oh, goodness.
Where'd you go for your honeymoon?
We went to the Cook Islands.
Oh, lovely.
And we stayed on the main island of Rarotonga.
Yeah, nice.
And then we took a very small plane out to Aitutaki and stayed there. And that was beautiful.
So
there was nothing to do, which suited me fine.
That's awesome. Any trips, holidays you did in the early days together?
No, I don't. Not that I really recall. We
just built a house.
We just built a house and had our first child pretty quickly. Yeah. So we were knee deep in nappies and
up to your eyeballs in it.
Yeah, and life.
Yeah.
So
how long were you married when your first one came along?
He was born in 2002.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So, fresh house.
So, I remember actually when I was pregnant with my first child, waking up and having the urge to turn on the radio.
Okay.
It was maybe 5 o'clock in the morning or something. It was very early. And that was the morning the plane went into the tower.
Oh, yes.
9/11.
Yes.
And I just remember sitting on the bed and thinking, what kind of a world am I bringing a child into when, people are flying planes into buildings, and I was just...
So you were pregnant at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it was really scary time, and, you just didn't want to turn the television off. You didn't want to... You just were glued, as horrific as it was.
Yeah.
The need to know was just intense.
It's just this belief that it was, even though it was a little while ago now, that it actually happened. It's more that this is not a movie, this is footage.
Yeah.
Something's actually happened.
Yeah.
So when were they born in that year?
So that was 2001.
Yep.
So they were born in April of 2002.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wasn't very pregnant, but still.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a 60 Minutes documentary of all the babies of 9/11, like that next year.
Goodness.
Interesting times and a part of history now. But what do you admire most about your partner?
Goodness. His resilience and his memory. Goodness me.
Perfect.
He has got a memory like nobody I've ever known. Our children were heavily into basketball, and he is always the one saying hello to this parent. Oh, don't you remember this parent from... used to play with so-and-so in when they were in this league and this game and this play, and no, I don't remember any of that. And I have no idea who this person is. So
he's got it covered.
Yeah.
He's got it covered.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
He's your stats man. His resilience. He's stubbornly been at this job that he hates.
Oh no.
Maybe I shouldn't say that.
He's sticking it out.
Yeah.
And this one I haven't asked before. How are you alike and how are you different? It's a similarity that you both have.
Yeah, we're very we're both introverts, primarily.
Yeah.
Although I'm getting more introverted as I get older.
Okay.
He's probably getting more...
Sorry, what?
Slightly more extroverted.
She's not.
Yeah, no. Actually, I'm actually a very shy person.
Oh, okay.
No, I am. And so is he.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, I'm getting more withdrawn as I get older. Like less willing to talk to people I don't know, but he's the opposite.
Okay.
He'll have a conversation with anybody.
He's making up for the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And how are you different?
Oh, goodness.
How you react to different situations or in a crisis?
We're pretty much on par with it in our terms of, how we deal with stuff, which is good probably.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so when our second child was born, we sort of reacted the same to events as they unfolded. So that was good. So our second child was born with esophageal atresia and a tracheoesophageal fistula. So his esophagus didn't go anywhere.
Oh, wow.
But instead of going into his tummy, everything was diverted via this fistula into his lungs. And that was discovered at birth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had too much amniotic fluid when I was pregnant, and that's commonly associated with this condition.
Oh, wow.
But it's really difficult to pick up prenatally. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a pretty major gap, as they call it, so the gap between where the esophagus finishes and the stomach starts. Right. Incredibly difficult to pick up prenatally. But they picked it up when he was 3 days old.
Oh, gosh.
When he was losing weight. So I was what we call feeding and cup feeding.
Okay.
So expressing breast milk and give it to him via a cup.
Yeah.
And he aspirated and went blue.
Oh, gee.
So I ran with him 2 days post cesarean section down to the nursery and pressed the button, drew some attention, and the midwife put down a nasogastric tube and it came back out.
Oh, wow.
And called the paediatrician in, and the paediatrician, I think, but he's so well. This baby is not showing any signs. His blood sugars were really good, so by some stroke of genius, he was actually getting the nourishment he needed and able to absorb somehow the nutrients from the breast milk to keep his blood sugars okay. But then they transferred him to the Royal Children's with Piper.
Okay.
He had his surgery when he was 4 days old.
Oh, my gosh.
Was
he born at term?
He was born just before term.
Okay.
Yeah. But a little piddly thing. My first child was 9 pounds 6.5, so I was expecting another elephant.
Yes.
And this kid came into the world at just over 3 kilos, was tiny. And and then lost weight because it's normal for babies to lose a certain amount of weight, but he'd lost more than the 10% that they allow for. So that's when they started doing some more investigating, and so anyway, he at the Children's had his operation and was a star patient. All the nurses kept saying,
little trooper.
Yeah, he weaned pretty quickly off all of his pain relief medications and still to this day has an amazing pain tolerance. And the nurses were just like, oh my goodness, he's not in any pain after this massive surgery. He's got what the surgeon refers to as a shark bite.
Okay.
On his back, just below his shoulder blade.
Okay.
And it's a significant scar.
Still there.
Yeah.
Badge of honour.
But that's his shark bite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's stressful that would have been So when did he come home?
So he came home 10 days after his surgery, which was incredible. So normally they like to keep them for about 2 weeks or something like that. But he was gaining weight. He was fine. There was absolutely no reason. He was breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So when they first introduced feeding, that we had to use they had to use a Haberman bottle, and for the non-nursing, non-midwifery folk, it's a specialised teat that they use. You can actually control the flow of milk through the teat.
Okay.
And they were giving him something stupid like, a meal every hour or something like that. This kid was hungry.
Yeah. Chomping.
Hungry.
Yes.
And after about 24 hours of this, I said, this is ridiculous. Can I breastfeed him again, because this kid is hungry?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, yeah, why not?
Yes.
And, yeah, kicking goals.
And no more issues after he came home? Like, it was just...
No, well, yeah, there's been a few issues, but once we had to drive him to the emergency department because his favourite food in the world is watermelon.
Okay.
And he actually got watermelon stuck because his esophagus, it doesn't allow food to go through as smoothly as normally, because he's got the ring where it's been connected, so this where the esophagus has been reanastomosed. Is like scar tissue, so I guess.
Okay.
And it doesn't allow food to be propelled down to the stomach.
Okay.
And so food can get stuck.
Choking hazard. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
yeah. So, yeah, we got watermelon stuck. And, I mean, he was okay. He wasn't turning blue or anything like that because it was stuck in his esophagus.
Yes.
So we took him into the children's, and by the time we got there, it wasn't that long, and it was actually able to go through. And they told us to help with getting rid of this food bolus that was stuck, to try Coke or pineapple juice, because that dissolves. But even that didn't work. So and they were great at the children's. They took him straight through, and he's had a couple of dilatations where they've actually had to stretch the esophagus.
Okay.
But that's all.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. He gets a lot of reflux, so he's on an anti-reflux medication.
Okay.
And yeah, he still gets food stuck now, but he's able to manage it himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very stressful having a baby without having surgery in such a...
Yeah.
When you were home by then?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was actually interesting because Phil and I reflected on it later, and one of the we got married in the Anglican church, and we had to do, compulsory marriage pre-counselling.
Yes.
And one of the questions was, what would you do if a child had to be hospitalised for something? Did they know something that we didn't know, or are they preempting something?
Jeez.
Yeah, amazing.
Heavens.
And I think our collective response and how we enacted that was we just took everything as it was happening.
Yeah.
That's
right.
You couldn't think too much with what was going to happen
the
next week, or you just had to act now.
And do you think your nursing background helped? Had you come across that before?
No. And I was upset with myself because I didn't pick it up.
Oh, how would you?
And I blamed myself for a long time that I should have known.
Oh gosh. You wouldn't have, but still, yeah.
So it wasn't a great time, but
no, that's very, very challenging. Just thinking about I guess your dreams for the future for you guys together as the kids are getting older. What are your dreams for the future? Apart from travel.
Just travel. Travel more and enjoy every moment, because you never know what's going to happen. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good enough for me. So moving on to work and profession, what was your first job?
I did kind of, I was a bit concerned when I was younger that I didn't have any experience, because I wasn't the one that, sort of got a job in a supermarket or whatever like that when I was very young. So I didn't have experience. So I was in the quandary of, you haven't got experience, but your job needs experience, and how are you going to get experience if you don't have a job? Yes. So my dad organised at the local milk bar that I'd go in, and I don't even think I got paid for it. I just
a freebie.
I just went in and did some shifts in the milk bar.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how long that lasted for, but anyway, then I moved swiftly along. My paternal aunt was the director of nursing at a nursing home.
Okay.
So I worked in a nursing home as a PCA, so patient care, whatever it is.
So how old were you then?
Well, I was doing, because the first year of nursing I lived on campus, so I didn't work.
Okay.
And then so I must have been 19, 20.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you finished year 12 and then got into your nursing from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always knew that I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to work with babies from day dot, Yeah. And that was one thing at school. They had the scores, and my score was 106 to get into nursing, and that I had that in big numbers on my pin board. This 106, and I think I obviously got 106 or whatever, because that was my first preference to study nursing at Monash Peninsula.
Yeah, perfect.
Or Franga.
Yes.
So that's where I did my my nursing, and I've forgotten even the question that you were asking.
All good. And then, so your profession and your job, so you started your nursing, and then where did you go from there?
So I finished my nursing. I got my grad year at my preferred location, which was Dandenong Hospital.
Okay.
So I did 2 surgical placements and a medical placement.
Okay.
And my medical placement was first, and I didn't have a great introduction to nursing, and as one of the associate nurse unit managers got cross at me because I was taking too long with the drug trolley. Because, when you're brand new and you've got a patient with 3 pages of drugs, you don't know any of these drugs, you're looking them up, you're being uber diligent.
Yes.
And I was taking too long with the drug trolley, and she had a go at me.
Too harsh.
And, harsh but fair. But anyway, and she was an interesting lady. She was always very, you're not quick enough. You're not doing this fast enough. You need to hurry up. You need to hurry. It was all about hurrying. And anyway, so we didn't get along that well, but after a while we developed a really good working relationship. And actually, when I went back to Dandenong Hospital after my first child was born, because I had repeated attacks of gallstones. this nurse, this associate nursing unit manager was still there. She remembered me. And she actually got me a single room and allowed my baby to stay with me.
It's not what you know.
So, yeah. So, yeah, actually
she
worked
came
out
through in
okay.
the end?
She came through with the goods in the end.
That's good. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, gallstones.
Fun times.
Yes. So then when you started working as a nurse and then
So
gone on to further study after that?
Yeah, so I knew that I wanted to be a midwife, and so when I did the midwifery part-time, because I had to work as well because, stuff costs money.
Yes.
So I worked at the Anglers while I was doing my midwifery training.
Oh, wow.
And I did my midwifery training at La Trobe in the city.
Okay.
And did my my clinicals at the Royal Women's.
Oh, wow.
As it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So the old women's.
Yeah.
And got to the end of my midwifery course and didn't want to. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do, where my life was heading. I didn't want to work in labour ward. I didn't want to work on the postnatal ward. I'd just done all this study.
Oh, no.
And it's like, well, I don't know what to do. So I went and worked in neonatal intensive care.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. And I was there, and then I got pregnant with my first child.
Okay.
And I had my first child, and I actually thought, I want to go and work in birth suite now. So I went back and did a grad year in midwifery, and they didn't have a job for me at the end of, they had full EFT or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved on and I got a job at Monash Medical Centre in birth suite.
Oh, yes.
And loved it.
Yes.
Loved it. Yeah. So I was there for nearly 10 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And that's where you met your people.
That's where I met my peeps.
Yes,
so
yes.
Anita and Flick.
Yes.
And we've been very good friends ever since. And, yeah.
So good. And you loved it. What did you love about the birth suite?
Oh, I just love catching those babies and just,
Literally catching the babies.
Catching the babies,
Oh, that's really good.
And just, I loved working with the women and their partners, and it was just to be part of that incredible moment when that baby is born, and to see, the love on the parents' faces when they hold their baby for the first time. It's
so good.
You can't you can't bottle it or buy it or something like that. It's an amazing feeling.
It's a very private moment for both of them, but then you're also in that inner circle because you're very much part of it. So a very privileged spot to be.
Very privileged.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an honour.
Yes.
Just amazing.
Would you go back?
Oh, I'd love to go back. And I think about it, and this comes in two things. Yes, I'd want to go back, but on my terms.
Yeah, true. So when you decided you didn't want to do that gig anymore, where things had just got more challenging? Or?
I got burnt out, and, reflecting on it, there's a term called compassion fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, I guess the more senior you get, the more difficult cases you need to look after, and you give and you give and you give and you give until you can't give anymore. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I was a bit lost for a while, and got some career counselling and things like that, because I was just when know that this is what you want to do, you don't sort of entertain anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you can't do it anymore, you just think, well, what do I do now? I've done this for as long as I have known, and
you've shaped your career.
Yeah.
To get to a certain point, and now you're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
So how long have you not been in that space?
A
little bit of time?
A long time. Yeah. So 11 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I went from birth suite into IVF.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was an IVF nurse for 7 years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I loved it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's also inner sanctum stuff too.
Yeah. And
very special area. Yeah.
It was great. And, but again, it's great when it's great.
Oh, true.
But when it's not a good outcome, it's devastating.
Yeah. That roller coaster.
Yeah. And for women who have had cycle after cycle with no positive or it's just awful.
Yeah.
And
so what would your role be as the IVF nurse?
So basically coordinating a woman's cycle, her IVF cycle.
Did you do that at Monash?
No, I did this through a private fertility company.
Yeah.
Although Monash do IVF, of course.
Yeah.
So basically a woman would call with the first day of her period.
Okay.
And depending on the type of cycle that she was on, they'd come in, they'd collect their medications, we'd teach them how to administer their injections, and when and coordinate their scans. So they need to have follicle scanning. So you do a couple of follicle scans within there, usually 2 weeks of treatment.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you'd organise their egg collection.
Oh my gosh.
And then they'd have a embryo transfer.
Yeah.
And then they'd have their blood test. And you'd be the one to give them the yay or nay.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah. So ace when it was a yay.
For sure. Best day
when
ever.
When it was a nay.
Oh.
I hate this day. I hate
what
breaking your
percentage
heart.
of that time would be, like, what do you reckon the strike rate would be?
Depending on the woman.
Yeah.
So, there was a whole lot of different factors, It might have been to do with their age. It might have been something to do with the embryo. A whole lot of things. And, great when it worked and not so great.
You would have been so good in that role, Chris, too.
Oh, thank you. I really loved the bonding with couples during that time. It was amazing, and it's always a nice thing to sort of have people ask for you to be their nurse.
Yes. Oh,
it's just
I would absolutely think that would happen.
Pat on the back, and it's like
you ride the wave with them.
Yeah. You absolutely do. Yeah, absolutely. But again, compassion fatigue. It just
gotcha.
It got me again
because you'd be invested, and why would you do it? Because you weren't invested, but that comes with,
it comes with consequences.
Yeah. So then you decided to finish up.
So I finished up in IVF, and I thought, I've always kind of liked the idea of pre-admissions.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and see what the pre-admissions.
Okay.
So I started working at the Women's Hospital.
Yeah, okay.
I've always had a preference for working with women.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it stems from midwifery and IVF is primarily the woman, although it's the fellow as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I got into pre-admission and I like it. Yeah. I'm doing a bit of everything. I book surgery for gynae patients, for caesarean patients, for cancer patients.
Okay.
A whole lot. And
do you feel it's giving you what you need?
Yeah, maybe.
Like filling your bucket,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But you toy with heading back.
I toy with heading back to IVF. Yeah.
Yeah. Have they asked? I reckon they'd ask you to come back. Where's that lovely Chris? Oh, she's finished.
So if I might go back to IVF in the future. I don't know. I'm just living in the now at the moment, and I'm happy in my place at the moment. So
that's really good.
Yeah. I mean, I can't go back to midwifery. I'd have to do a refresher.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've been.
Let's study, Chris. Though.
No,
Ridiculous.
But I've been out of it for 2, and midwifery has changed. I think. I mean, grassroots is still the same, but there's so much paperwork and.
I know. I think probably like a lot of professions too.
Yeah.
And what did you want to be when you grew up? You wanted to be a nurse.
I want to work on babies.
Yeah.
Babies. I just want to be a baby nurse.
And what are you proudest of in your career? The list is huge.
Oh. Yeah.
Everything.
All those babies.
Yes.
All those
Did you ever
babies.
count?
No.
No? Oh, didn't keep a little tally on the wall?
No, I should have.
Another one?
It'd be a good number. And seeing, ladies who'd come in to birth and you'd actually caught their first baby and you'd come back and you're fortunate enough to look after them again. And it was just beautiful. And in IVF, you'd help them with their first pregnancy and they'd come back and, you'd help them with their second. And yeah.
How good would it be to have the continuity of care is you were there for the first announcement of the IVF baby and then you continue on to birth suite when they're actually having the baby.
Amazing.
You're like a prep teacher teaching all the way through to that would be really,
that'd be
cool.
Pretty incredible. Yeah.
But I think about all of the I guess the pillar of strength that you've been for many, 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 many people over those years through the midwifery, through your nursing midwifery and then IVF. No wonder you're exhausted. But it's also sometimes helping others helps you, but sometimes it's very hard to keep that balance.
Yeah.
Where it becomes a negative for you.
Yeah.
But really good that you are enjoying what you're doing. That's awesome. And you'd still have that supportive line, even if it is something that's quite simple as booking in and things, you have that extra stuff that other people don't have.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on to your passions and interests. What are you most passionate about in life?
Preserving memories.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love photography. I love scrapbooking.
Yeah.
I love, I'm a hoarder. So I'm very, very sentimental. I just love memories and, smells and, transport me to places where, I've been... I was out picking oranges for a weekend away and smelling the orange blossom, and it took me back to driving through California.
I love orange blossom. We've got heaps of it.
Oh, my goodness.
The best.
Fields and fields and fields of blossoming oranges.
Lovely.
Oh, my. We had the windows wound up and all we could smell was this. Oh, my goodness.
Delicious.
So, it took me back there.
Smell. Yeah.
But, very, 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 very sentimental and just want to keep and preserve all the happy memories and document them.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's really good. And my next one is, can you tell me about a hobby or interest that's been particularly meaningful to you? Is your scrapbooking?
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing it for?
20 years.
Oh, jeez. That's the long haul.
Yeah.
That's a career in itself.
I mean, it's not, I guess it's not considered fashionable anymore, but those who know me know that I don't give a crap about what's in fashion. I'm still wearing the same things I was wearing 15 years ago, even though there might be earrings.
Perfect.
Anyway.
That's so good.
Yeah. And, yeah, I think it's just a beautiful thing too, and it's a creative outlet, and it's my memories, and it's my time I get to spend with my besties, and just
that's really good.
Chatting.
But I think all that kind of comes into it is that you're, like you said, you want to preserve memories, but then you're getting joy and creativity, and then the creation. It's about the thought process, how to choose that photo, how to I guess create around it. Yep. So good, Chris.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
My next one, I think I've got a bit of a insight into this. Tell us about your favourite music and bands.
Well, my music taste is very broad.
Yes.
I love musical theatre.
Yeah.
My favourite bands as a kid, I was a New Kids on the Block tragic. And
I was just talking about New Kids on the Block the other night.
Bros was another favourite. Remember them?
I've got their
the
album.
Twins.
I have their full on vinyl.
Oh, yes. Goodness, I was devastated when I couldn't go to their concert. Yes.
And then the random guy.
Yes. Oh, man.
Three's a crowd.
But I'm very sentimental with my music as well. So I love the pipe organ.
Oh, yes.
And when I got married, I wanted to get married in a church with a pipe organ.
Cool.
Because it reminds me of going to church with my grandparents.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah. And the old hymns.
Love it.
I love them.
So
I love
good.
them. But I love soundtracks.
Yes.
Like a lot of my playlists are soundtracks. There's a movie, I'm not sure whether you've seen it, The Power of One.
I have heard of it, yes.
The soundtrack it was set in Africa.
Okay.
The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. So that would have to be one of my all-time favourites.
It's funny. I don't know if people do it as much these days, but I bought soundtracks all the time.
All the time, yeah.
To quite a few movies.
Yeah.
But now I don't know if the soundtracks are a focus. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's memorable. I don't know.
The Bridgerton soundtrack, that's fabulous.
Yes.
It's fabulous, that one. So The Man from Snow River have to be one of my top ones. Titanic.
Yes.
Oh, just...
Because it's not just the songs, it's the music.
It's the music.
Too.
It's the music.
Yes.
I like anything from very, very classical to Metallica.
Yeah, very broad. Oh, touring next year in November.
Yeah, not interested in touring.
Not interesting.
But nothing else matters. Well,
And describe your first concert experience. Who did you see?
New Kids on the Block.
Oh my gosh, did you see that concert?
I know.
Stop it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, I saw them.
So jealous.
I saw them,
How old were
back
you?
in the day. I don't know, teenager. Donnie was my favourite. Oh my goodness. I still love Donnie.
Oh my goodness.
Still love him.
I saw it was when New Kids on the Block and the Backstreet Boys came to Melbourne. I saw them, they were doing the same concert, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
My wonderful husband came with me. But quite a strange thing I've never seen at Rod Laver Arena is all the toilets were rebranded to women's with stickers over the top. There was very few male toilets because pretty much everyone there was chick.
And we know that the line to the women's toilets is always ridiculous.
Every single toilet was rebranded to female, which I've never seen ever before.
That's fabulous.
But they performed together, both of them.
Yeah.
And they did separately as well. But amazing.
That would have been,
So amazing.
I would have loved to go to that.
It was really good. It was really good. But that's so good. And favourite movies, TV shows, actors?
So my favourite, I've got a lot of favourite movies, but I loved going to see The Man from Snow River.
Yes.
My dad took me to that.
Oh, so good.
And my dad also took me to Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, yes.
So I love Crocodile Dundee.
Yes.
I love Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a tear-jerker movie and I'll...
She's there.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of action films.
Yeah.
I'll watch them. I don't like sci-fi, much to my husband and family's chagrin. I fell asleep during The Matrix, happy to say, in the cinema. I woke up when it was over.
That's so funny. I still don't quite understand the whole thing about The Matrix.
I don't get it.
I will watch it. I don't understand it.
No.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Chris.
Yeah, no.
Oh my goodness.
I just can't do it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Love Keanu Reeves. What could you not love about Keanu Reeves?
Well, yeah.
However, what is it all about?
No.
I'm with you on that one. And talking about family and friendships, describe your friendships and how valuable they are to you.
My friends are my life.
Yes.
If I didn't have my friends, I'd be a very, very sad person.
Yes.
So I've got a niche little group of besties, and then I've got, people everywhere. I mean, you know, Kate I've known since day dot.
Yeah.
And Flick and Anita have just been there through work, and even though there's been several jobs between Monash, we're still
amazing,
great mates, and I really value my people.
And you get to capture different people throughout your life.
Yeah.
As Flick, friend of the show, said, a reason, season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes. That they're there.
And I've got,
so
I can
good.
absolutely relate to that.
Perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
And life's turning points. Can you share a significant turning point or moment of realisation in your life? No.
No.
There's been a few pivots, I guess, in your career and trying to sort out coming to those points of what you're going to do at different points.
Yeah. I don't know that I can. No, I don't know.
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
So my next segment is called Curious Corner, where we ask curious questions about our guests. Can you recall a time where you just couldn't stop laughing about something?
Oh dear.
And who does it involve?
Oh, working night duty on the birth suite. I don't even know what kind of conversations they were, and the fact that we were probably so beyond overtired, and between the hours of 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. you just lose the plot. And I've got a very infectious laugh, and I laugh cry.
Yes.
So I'll be crying and just nearly wetting my pants over something stupid. But
something minor.
But ask me what it is. I've no idea. And if we were to, I wouldn't know, and it probably wouldn't even be funny now.
No, that's right.
Given the circumstances,
yes,
it's just hilarious.
Oh my goodness!
Watching Faulty Towers, always.
Yes. The best.
The episode with Mrs. Richards. Every time that we play that one, that is my laugh out loud That's my therapy.
Even when you think about when Fawlty Towers came out, it's so long ago now, but it's still amazingly funny.
Amazingly. So
clever.
Wrong on a lot of levels.
That's right.
And it's probably going to be cancelled, but
I'm just waiting for it's good value.
So
it's such good value.
So funny.
No matter how many times you've seen it or
no, it doesn't.
John Cleese, he's
doesn't matter.
Incredible man.
Yeah.
Manuel,
He's just
and
amazing.
Awesome. That's so good. If you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be?
Heal the unhealable.
Oh, yes. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could achieve? Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Yep.
There is a lot of pain in the world, definitely.
Yep.
My next one is, now you don't have to get to 5, but name 5 people you would invite for dinner and why. So people that you are unlikely to meet.
I think I'm going to borrow friend of the show Flick's answer on this.
Oh. It's a combined
Florence Nightingale.
Oh, yes.
Because amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh, goodness. I should have done some homework on this, shouldn't I?
Mr. Wahlberg. Oh, that's not
he
for
might
the
be
dinner
the answer
table.
to my other question. if I didn't have my significant other.
I love that.
Yeah, he might get a spot at the table.
Yeah.
Who else would get a spot at the table? I might have to come back to that. I'm going to have to think about it. Is that all right?
That's all good.
Yeah.
And this one, I wonder what this one could be. If you could choose one song to play every time you walked into a room, what would you choose? Lots of soundtracks there, Chris.
Yeah. There's so many songs.
Yeah, I know. Like a song that makes you feel really good. Like, doesn't necessarily have to be what the song's about. I think songs that make you feel really amazing.
I've gone completely blank. You know this.
Oh, that's all right. We can come back to it. A signature dish to cook. Do you have any signature dishes to cook that you love?
I just love cooking. Yeah. I'm probably best known for my family will certainly tell you Chris's lasagna.
Oh,
yeah.
Any secret ingredients?
No. Just something that I happened to nail early on and has been.
I reckon you could try a few lasagnas before you find one that you really like to cook.
Yeah,
some are not. I don't know.
But some lasagnas are just not great.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this one, as I've injured myself many, many times over the years, I'm always curious about other people's injuries. Can you tell us about a time where you've accidentally injured yourself? Gosh, it's not in the birth suite, is it?
Oh, I had a very significant injury very early in my nursing career when I was working in the nursing home.
Oh, no.
It was back in the day when you actually had to lift patients.
Oh, no.
And we were lifting this man up the bed and he went dead weight and my back went and slipped a disc.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, I've never been in plaster.
Okay.
Except for a dodgy wrist that never needed plaster. But anyway, I'm not really an injurious person.
Oh,
yeah.
What's it like? Short-footed people.
No,
so jealous.
Not short-footed. No, not short-footed. No.
Just lucky then.
Just lucky.
If you could do things differently, what career would you choose? If you were going to do a complete pivot.
Yeah, I thought I might be a teacher.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've revisited that, multiple times.
Okay.
And thought, oh yeah, maybe I'll go back to school. Yeah, I love learning and I love teaching.
Yeah.
And earlier I said that, school I didn't have much time for. That was then.
Yes.
I just love learning for myself and passing that on to people.
Yeah, gaining information.
Yeah.
I know my favourite question, I love this question so much, the hall pass. So if you could have a night or time with someone else that's other than your partner, who would it be?
Well.
Wow.
If it's not Mr. Donnie Wahlberg himself, Johnny Depp.
Oh, yes. 21 Jump Street. That's where my brain goes back to.
No. Jack Sparrow.
Oh, gosh. Johnny Depp. Shout out to Johnny Depp and to Donnie Wahlberg. Would you Mark Wahlberg in the entertainment?
Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg more
Donnie
so.
Wahlberg. Yeah, he's been a constant and he was the first, so,
Donnie D's on the backup. Oh, my goodness. So legacy and reflections, what are you proudest of in your life?
Proud that I'm still here.
Yes.
Proud that I have an amazing family, and I don't know. I'm just proud to be where I am and what I've done and how I've contributed to other people's lives.
Absolutely. Is there anything you regret?
Plenty.
Regrets, I've admit.
If I had my time again, I would have travelled more pre-kids.
Yeah.
If I had my time again, I would have bought 2 blocks of land instead of 1.
Yes. Yeah.
If I had my time again, I would have spent more time with my family who are no longer with us.
Yeah. I think that's very true because it can flick past very, very quickly and all of a sudden, things change. That brings me to the end of all my questions. Chris, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, my gosh. Now the trio are complete. And as I say, I can't wait to upload this bad boy. So thank you so, so much.
You're very welcome.
Yes. See ya. Wow. Firstly, thank you to Chris for allowing us to hear about the many facets of her life. She has created some incredible memories with her family and also her hundreds of patients in their times of need. What I love is that Chris has acknowledged a few times in her career when she has become exhausted and then been solution-focused to choose a different path. This is not easy to do, but her strength in making these choices has given her positive outcomes in all areas of her life. Thank you, Chris, for making me laugh at various points throughout this interview. And finally, let's give a shout out to Chris's Hall Pass inductees, Mr. Donnie Wahlberg and Mr. Johnny Depp. Tune in to our next episode where we get to hear more lives worth telling. Don't forget to check out and follow us on your socials. And if you love what you hear, please rate and review us on your favourite podcast app. Of course, if you have any questions, you can get in touch with us through the Facebook page or Instagram. If you or a friend or a family member would like to come on the show, please don't hesitate to get in contact with us. And if you want to grab yourself some merch, jump onto Redbubble to check out our products. Thanks for listening to Lives Worth Telling. See you next time.